if you can't hear, I'll send you a recording. But otherwise, I'm just going to continue because I've got lots to cover. Okay, so we're all here to learn how to sell a big data, and that's my goal. I provide sales training and customer-facing webinars. We're happy to provide those as well. Okay, so this is a graph. So what is the growth of big data? This graph, we got this from Google Trends, and what Google Trends does is it plots the usage of keywords over time, and I just find it's a good way to know what's popular in the training business. I've been using it for years now. So, when you see this graph, you'll see the green is SQL Server training, that line. And I know it's been a big product for New Horizons, but as you can see, it's still pretty strong. But there certainly is a decline in the interest on Google keyword searches. The other stuff is all the other big data stuff. So in red is machine learning. You can see that as a positive trend. Big data training itself has seen real good positive growth. Hadoop training is also very strong. And so what does that mean to training salespeople? Well, there's a future in selling big data training. All right, so what is big data? We all hear about it in the news and hear all kinds of stories. But big data is everywhere, and it's transforming the way that organizations do business. There's somebody coughing. If you could just mute, that would be great. So the basic idea around big data is that it's everywhere. And with our cell phones or our smartwatches or when we drive our cars, there are many, many examples. We're leaving a digital signature, and we're being tracked, and we're tracking people. So in terms of big data, a lot of people don't even know what it is, but this is the best graph I could show to show the mere scale of it. Okay, so let's just call regular structured data stuff like Excel and Oracle and SQL, and there's a bunch more. That's the stuff in blue, which has had steady, slow growth since the early 2000s. It's the big data, which is in green, and that represents videos, click streams, tweets, audio, and much more. So it's all the unstructured and large data is at least our definition of what big data is. There are three buzzwords that are associated with big data, and that is volume, variety, and velocity. So, for volume, I mean, you want to find out is, do your customers have petabytes of data? And if they do, then there's likely an opportunity for big data training. Variety. So, big data is not your traditional structured data, it's unstructured data, and it's growing, right? Velocity. Big data is generated at very high rates. So the example that and they're each putting out one piece of data every second. So that's an example of velocity, and there are new challenges around being able to capture that information. Big data, this is really interesting. So since the beginning of mankind until 2003, there were 5 exabytes of data generated. Now at Google, or now on Earth, I guess, we produce 5 exabytes of data every 2 days, and the pace is accelerating, and organizations have to be able to tame it. Who's using big data? Hey, look, the whole Fortune 1000 is using big data, either directly or through other products, okay? Here are some of our customers. They're all using big data, and many of them the whole suite of big data offerings. So in a recent article in Forbes magazine, they said that 70% of all organizations are planning to increase their big data investment. 52% of all enterprises globally see big data as an opportunity, but only a fourth of them have a clear strategy today. So what does that mean? Let's sell them some training, okay? There are financial services industries and insurance is just eating up big data because it makes them more efficient and makes them money. Here are just a few examples. So Allstate has tripled its accuracy of predicting bodily injury, and they say that this alone is worth an estimated $40 million to them. The accident fund predicts high-cost compensation claims, and they do this for preventative measures. Chase, remarkably, has added $100 million in revenue by preempting a refinancing. You know, they figure out who is likely to jump ship and go to another mortgage company, and because of their use of big data, it's making them hundreds, if not billions of dollars. You know, it's really, big data is very powerful. So Premier Bank Card was able to reduce its mailing cost by $12 million. And Tennessee Bank was able to reduce its mailing cost by 20% and increase its responses, generating 600 times return on investment of their big data spend. Target, you know, claims to have increased the revenues between 15 and 30%. Here's some examples of big data. Walmart has a 40 petabyte data warehouse. Netflix has 500 billion events per day and adds about a petabyte of data every single day. So that's the big stuff. All right, so as I mentioned earlier, the reason why we're here is we want to know how to sell big data. So in terms of target companies, you know, it says the Fortune 500, but it's really, at least in my opinion, more like the Global 2000, and there's lots of entrepreneurs that are involved in big data. So but the folks that are executing and providing big data services are programmers, business analysts, data scientists, line of business executives, and administrators. Everyone's getting on board. So when you are selling to a client, you want to feel them out by finding out how much data they're dealing with. You know, if they have petabytes of data, then big data is something that they're likely into or need to be into. You want to find out how much they're spending on data warehousing. Are they throwing away data just to keep licensing down? That's a big advantage of big data. Is you can monitor and store data at a very cheap rate. I guess the big question is, are they handling unstructured data? Are they dealing with streaming data? If any of those situations are true, then they could likely benefit from big data. So when you're talking to companies, you know, there's a different pitch, right? But for sure, hiring big data talent is hard. And these folks are expensive. So what does that mean? Let's sell them some training, right? Train your existing teams that you trust and know your business. It's really a win-win. You know, other reasons, a well-trained team can avoid costly mistakes. And data-driven decisions can be very profitable. And we're going to get into some of those a little later. As I mentioned, big data professionals, so this is an individual sale, they're highly paid, right? I've seen hourly rates between $70 and $400 per hour, depending upon the level of expertise. There's huge demand. Recently looked on Indeed and typed in big data and found over 4,500 jobs just in the greater New York City area. Big data is on the increase. So if you're technical and you have programming skills, this is a great way to recession-proof your career. We'll see some later, but big data makes big profits for enterprises, and it really appeals to folks that like solving complex problems. You can really become a hero by being a big data scientist or engineer. Okay, so our courses, we have more courses, but this is our core, right? We have courses for managers and executives. We have our Big Data Essentials Bootcamp, which we developed with Logical Operations and are having quite a bit of interest. We provide Amazon training, Spark training, Hadoop training. Hadoop is usually bundled with other stuff, though. NoSQL training, which is not, it's like SQL, but it's for non-structured data. We have data analytics, streaming, solar. We believe that we have the largest library of big data and data science courseware for training centers in the world. We're pretty proud of that. Here are our tracks. So we have, you can go to the website. Now all these courses are offered on the New Horizons Learning Management System, but and this is actually cut and pasted from our website. We have a developer track, an admin track, a track for data scientists and budding data scientists and executives, just to educate them on the opportunity at hand. All right, so this is our big thing. We just launched it this year. It's the Big Data Essentials Bootcamp. We built this course to provide essential education to people in big data. Like, if you're going to be in big data, you need to have at least these skills to be considered a professional. That's our opinion. So it's the first comprehensive program covering all the big data technologies. The boot camp itself covers the baseline. It's designed to train your team in new technologies so they can be productive. Our training is very practical. It's about 50% lecture and 50% lab. We use Amazon Web Services, and we host the actual technology, and it just works. Our labs are terrific. In the boot camp, the core, right, is Hadoop, Spark, and Cassandra. So Hadoop is the storage of the data. Spark represents large-scale analytics, SQL queries, non-SQL queries, streaming, and just hardcore analytics. And Cassandra is a very popular NoSQL or non-structured query language. Oh, I mentioned it's 50-50 lab and lecture. The audience is admins, programmers, database analysts, database admins, and more. This is a 5-day class, and as I mentioned, there's no install. All you need is a browser to access our class. We run it on Adobe Connect, if you've heard of that. In terms of our background, we have delivered hundreds of classes. We've had thousands of students, and we deliver our training around the world. Our trainers are, out in the field working and delivering training. We're well known at O'Reilly Media, LinkedIn, and some of our work can be found there. We're always speaking at conferences, and we do quite a bit of contributions on GitHub. So the boot camp, it's $3,200, and there's good margins for training salespeople, and these are our upcoming dates. It's on newhorizons.com, and almost every single franchise has replicated that information. So we're running our classes. I have this big data monetization strategies comes from our big money from big data, but I just wanted to really quickly run through it because maybe it'll give you guys some ideas and let you take those ideas out to your customers. So big data is very popular because it makes companies smarter, more profitable, more effective. Okay, so one strategy is keeping data proprietary, and so companies are looking at social media, and they're all collecting all that data centrally and making important decisions. So, like for example, airlines. Funny enough, use data collected about the flight, the employees, passengers, check luggage to take care of customer issues. It's funny that I mentioned that because United Airlines could have paid better attention regarding their policy of yanking paying customers off airplanes, but that's just one example. Slow. Okay. There are massive opportunities for big data and IoT within healthcare. Some of the wearables that are out there today can be used to capture, transmit, analyze blood and sugar levels. Ginger.io measures activities and symptoms of chronic illnesses. Like an example is if you have somebody that's getting older and all of us, and they're accustomed to walking a couple of miles a day, and all of a sudden, you see that they're home and they're not doing very much. It's just a great passive way of monitoring the general wellness of their customers. So that it's a combination of wearables and back office monitoring of data. In agriculture, there are big applications as well. In terms of insurance, so for a long time, farmers have purchased crop insurance to protect a down year, but there's opportunity for fraud. Meaning, so if a farm had a bad year, they're almost incented to exaggerate their losses. But with today, there's all kinds of equipment like planters and combines and chemical sprayers and harvesters and sensors that calculate the yield and have made it, put a situation out there where it's become there's been more honesty and it allows greater coverage for farmers based on use of these devices and big data. Oh, this is more. Yeah, but see, often farmers would be asked to provide information on crop yield, but it wasn't always accurate. And it's more accurate because of big data. Trading data access strategy, trading data with business suppliers. Like Amazon and UPS is a great example of strong business partners that provide data back and forth to optimize their businesses. So, for example, Amazon is able to allow overnight shipping to certain destinations based on integration with UPS, and UPS is letting them know where they can do an overnight shipping for the same price. Sell data to asset owners. This is interesting. Shopper Track measures foot traffic in stores around the globe, and this passive monitoring of foot traffic allows marketers and business owners to understand if their marketing is working, or if they're in a region that is suffering economic hardships. It is just an independent and passive way of monitoring stores to just better make decisions for organizations. Sell data to other interested parties, right? So the credit rating agencies are big users of this. Credit rating agencies let companies know the likelihood of a vendor not paying their bills, right? And so big data, there are many big data techniques that help facilitate accurate findings of financial positions for organizations. Selling premium data products. So I'm a salesperson myself, and I am a user of Sales Navigator. So the majority of all Salesforce LinkedIn users don't pay anything for it, but salespeople, a lot of people do. So that's just an example where you get the whole world of professionals to contribute their information, and then sales and marketing folks will pay. I pay $75 a month for Sales Navigator, and it's worth it for me. So that's an example of selling premium data products. Selling advertising. Well, we all know this, right? And the picture below represents the paid and organic listings, right? So the whole business started with allowing folks to search for things that they were interested in, and then Google charges people for paid to make it up top. Market data open and available. Marketplaces. This is an app that I've installed. It's really neat. It's called Foursquare, and it's for restaurants. What's interesting about that is if you go to a favorite restaurant, you will be given discounts. And because these apps know where you are, you might be enticed to come visit across the street for ice cream after your meal. Just a neat way of leveraging big data to make some more money. So we, as I mentioned, we always have new classes that are coming out, and these are some of the things that are coming down the pipe. Leading the IoT Revolution workshop. This is a one-day class, and it helps executives understand IoT and the opportunities and kind of how to do it right, and where IoT is most applicable. Interestingly, we have this new course called Understanding Machine Learning for Lawyers. There's lots of opportunities there for law firms and doing machine learning for lawyers. I had asked about, because New Horizons is so heavily entrenched with Microsoft, we're trying to bring more Microsoft-centric solutions as well. So on the books is machine learning and artificial intelligence on Azure. So if you have any of your hardcore Microsoft clients, this is coming down the road. Okay. So we have sales incentives for all of you folks. Any sales rep that sells 3 or more BDEBs or Big Data Essential Bootcamps before September gets a $500 gift card. Also, anyone that sells an on-site of 3 or more days with 6 or more students gets a $500 gift card. And this goes right directly to the sales rep. That is my contact information. My name is David Kaufman. I'm dkaufman@elephantscale.com, but you can also just send it to sales@elephantscale.com. Boy, I went pretty quickly. Does anyone have any questions?
David, good morning. This is Kelly. How are you?
I'm well, Kelly, and you?
Good, good. I'm doing great. Got a question for you, though. Of these classes that you're offering, how many of them are certification-driven? Most importantly, to my clients, the data scientist certifications?
Yeah. So the Big Data Essentials Bootcamp, we've developed it with logical operations, and we've started the certification. So none of them to date has a cert. And we hope to have the Big Data Essentials cert out this year.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Any more questions? Okay. Well, I just want to throw this out. If you, is there a question?
Yeah. Hey, David. Nick here.
Okay.
I was trying to get unmuted. So I sent the team the list of classes and all, and allows them to kind of have a look-see to it. Katie asked a question earlier, and I think it's a general question that as we're sales folks, we would like to know who to position this with, especially the boot camp. She was wondering who the boot camp would be geared towards, what type of job role, and if you can kind of explore the initial people that you got in contact with at your client sites, selling it not through New Horizons, that would help us identify key characters as well.
Yeah, so the big data stuff is mostly for developers and admins and budding data scientists. The chief data officer or the IT manager is a possibility. Anyone with analytics in their title would all be good targets for you.
So if they're already using big data, are we too late?
No, I mean, big data is vast, right? So, like, we just get into the core, right, in our big data essentials, but there's lots of opportunity outside of that, and we provide custom training as well. So, if you have use cases or certain business requirements that a company would have, we would be happy to customize our courses to reflect their actual needs. Yeah. Did that answer your question?
It did.
Okay. So so my job, right, is to make you guys all more successful. That's my goal. And if you ever have a customer meeting that you would like us to assist on, or assistance in preparing a custom quote, or even some customer-facing presentations, just let me know, and we're happy to provide that for you.
Hey, there's another question that came through in the IM chat. Difference between Cloudera and Hortonworks?
Hortonworks. Well,
it was spelled Fork, so that's why I said it.
Yep. Well, I don't know that I can fully. Okay, Hortonworks and Cloudera are the two providers of the core big data training. Okay, and I can't answer that question, right? I'd honestly have to do the research. There are differences between them, but what's good about Elephant Scale is if you're a Hortonworks shop or you're a Cloudera shop and you want your training to be delivered on either instance, we can do that. I would have to research it to find out what those differences are. I've been told there's not a big difference, but I'm probably not giving the best answer for you, so I'd have to research that and get back to you.
And then this is, I'm just reading the questions until we get done, right? How familiar with our clients? How familiar would they be with this training? How is it marketed other than through resellers?
Well, Elephant Scale is largely a wholesaler of training. Okay, the training is branded as New Horizons. Okay, we market ourselves, but we're largely marketed by some of the biggest training organizations in the world and logical operations. We have a great reputation, and that's why we're able to deliver this to the whole network and around the world through logical operations. Right. We are the vendor neutral, we are the go-to vendor neutral training provider, I would say. Well, I'd like to say that. Yeah. Yeah.
So, being not really clear on this, I hear people talk about Tableau as a tool to analyze big data?
Yes.
Your
Very
understanding of it as well?
Yes. Yes. Tableau is great at creating charts and graphs of all kinds to display the story behind big data. That's my understanding.
Got it. But it's not tied to SQL data. It could go across all platforms.
Yeah, I am not an expert, but my understanding is, you get stuff to a spreadsheet format, or it can attach to other solutions. I'm getting above my head. I am not an expert in Tableau, but I do know that it is considered the best tool for telling the story about data with more graphs than you would see out of Excel. They have all kinds of sophisticated graphs, and I believe it touches all the major big data products.
Okay. Any other IMs that you need me to speak out, or any other questions out there? Going once.
Hi, this is Katie. Do you have any industry-specific white papers that you could provide us when we are having these conversations with our clients?
Industry-specific white papers. So you're saying, like, you want to be able to talk to a hospital and have potential white papers regarding the use of big data?
Yeah, like financial institutions, insurance organizations, government, universities. I mean, I know practically every organization uses some form of big data. So. Yeah.
Well, we're just launching a new site called bigdatausecases.info. But just to be clear, we're happy to do any research to help you get in the door at any company. So if you are saying you have a hospital, like we have a pitch deck that we can forward to assist on entree into, let's say, a hospital or a bank.
Perfect.
But I don't have a library of it, but just trust me, I'm happy to do whatever research you want us to do to help you win business, to help us win business. Yep.
Thank you.
All right. Are there any other questions out there? Okay. Well, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this recording, I'm gonna save it. Oh, some articles. Oh, I just saw, people are sending me messages. They appear for a second, then I can't see them. So.
Yeah, Kathy was just saying that there are some articles already on your website.
Yeah, we are blogging all the time, and you'll find some coverage there. But if it's not there and you have an opportunity, just let me know. I'm very happy to assist in any way possible.
Very good. David, thank you so much. We appreciate the time, and we'll look forward to asking questions and getting some more information as we start penetrating more and more clients with these training packages and boot camps.
Okay, so when I wrote my invitation this morning, I got all your email addresses. What I'm going to do is I'll send out the recording and our capability statement, which covers all of what we do. Thank you all for attending. Thanks for being our partner, and I look forward to helping you all be more successful in big data.
Very nice. Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Thanks so much.